Welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here. This is Friday, the 3rd of May, 2024. Thank you for tuning in. Glad to have you guys here. Last night late, just before bed, I was watching this influencer on YouTube, and he has millions of followers. And he was on this self-absorbed rant where he was like, his subscribers, he was saying how it's demoralizing what he was saying about them. Let's just put it that way, and how he didn't get along with any of them, and how very negative. And it got me thinking about my subscribers on my channel here, and thinking about what's the difference, because my subscribers on my channel here, they're really nice people, very helpful people. Maybe the difference is that the people that are really awake. Now, I know we had all this thing about woke. We hear woke. But the people who are really awake in this world and can really see what's happening, really put 1 + 1 together and equal 2, are the nicer, more helpful people in this world. And they're concerned about what's happening with the situation in this world. And they want to find out more. And so they're looking into every avenue, every channel on the internet, trying to find information. And they happen to find places like my channel where I'm putting information out there that's not commonly known. And some people out there would laugh and ridicule at the information that I'm putting out here. But they're probably the same people that are having road rage on the side of the highway. And maybe he's got a whole bunch of those people on his channel. I just don't know. But I notice that there are good people out there, and there are people who are not nice people out there. And I think that the nice people, the smart people, tend to gravitate toward my channel. Anyway, I got a lot to go over this, and I'm going to tell you, truth is stranger than fiction, and some of this stuff is almost unbelievable, the stuff I'm going to be going over today in this show. I mean, stuff that's going on out here in the world right now. Anyway, we'll start with Trump. He is, I guess he's saying we're not going to let the radical left morons take over, he says. Former U.S. President Donald Trump weighed in on the anti-Gaza war protest as U.S. universities denounced the radical left morons. And thanked the police officers who cracked down on the protests at UCLA and Columbia. So that's what Trump said today. Meanwhile, what we have going on, let me see if I can find it here. Police officers have fired guns while clearing protesters from the Columbia building, prosecutors have said. In Los Angeles, a police officer was involved in clearing protesters from the Columbia University administration building earlier this week. He fired his gun inside the hall. No one was injured, it says. So I didn't know, but it says here more than 100 protesters were taken into custody during Columbia's crackdown Tuesday. They are part of more than 2,000 people who have been arrested during pro-Palestinian protests at the college campuses across the United States. I didn't know that this protest was that big, that they arrest 2,000 people. That's big. When they arrest that many, that means the protests are really much larger than I thought they were. Now, Biden's on there throwing words around that I don't understand, really. I mean, I looked into this this morning, and it says Biden calls Japan and India xenophobic. And so I had to look it up to find out what xenophobic means. And so we're going to go there and we're going to take a look. Xenophobic means having or showing dislike or prejudice against against people from other countries. So Biden is throwing that around out there. He's calling Japan and India xenophobic. I wonder what Japan and India think of that. It says U.S. President Joe Biden has called Japan and India xenophobic countries that do not welcome immigrants, lumping the two with adversaries China and Russia, as he tried to explain their economic circumstances and contrasted the four with the U.S. on immigration. Now, what was this article I had here? I wanted to show you guys. Oh, we already been over that. Now, the Trump trial is continuing, and they're getting into the really lurid details now of everything. They're going over everything, and they're going all through, I'll tell you, going all through his personal life and everything. Well, they went all through his stuff in his house down in Florida. Bedrooms and bathrooms, and now they're going through and they're going through these court testimonies about things that happened in the past with Stormy Daniels. It says Donald Trump's Manhattan criminal trial enters its 11th day following raucous testimony. Tawdry is one of the words they use here. Tawdry business of celebrity sex scandals, it says. Dirty laundry in the news business. I think that's what they call it. Airing out dirty laundry or whatever, you know. Now, one of the things I found interesting this morning, looking at this article here, orangutans in the forest, you know. They've been observed treating their wounds using medicinal plants. They've caught them treating their own wounds, being their own doctors. You know what? I'm going to tell you, I think an orangutan might make a better doctor than the doctors out there. Just bring his little bag of herbs with him from the forest and Scientists working in Indonesia have observed an orangutan intentionally treating a wound on their face with a medicinal plant. The first time this behavior has been documented. His name is Rakus, a male Sumatran orangutan treated a wound on his face by chewing leaves from a climbing plant named Akar and repeatedly applying the juice from it, according to a paper published in the Journal of Scientific Reports on Thursday. He then covered Rakus, the name of the ape, covered the wound with chewed up leaves, which he used in a traditional medicine to treat illnesses like dysentery, diabetes, and malaria, said scientists. I'm going to tell you, your animals out there are a lot smarter than you think they are. And I'm just learning that all my life growing up, you know, for probably the first 50 years of my life, I never realized how smart things like dogs and cats and things like that are. I'm starting to think that if they had the vocal cords, especially dogs, certain dogs, they could probably talk. And in fact, maybe they wouldn't have a very large vocabulary. Maybe they'd only have a couple hundred words that they'd know. But they don't have the vocal cords to communicate that way. But you know, some people are buying these things now that the dogs step on. It's a little button. It's got a word on it, and the dog will step on that word to say a word, the word that corresponds with the button. And they're very, very intelligent. They're able to almost put sentences together. And I've watched them on YouTube doing that, you know, and it's absolutely amazing. And I'm starting to think now that maybe they're a lot more intelligent than we give them credit for. And they know a lot more than we give them credit for. Especially, I saw this cat, on YouTube, and they put the dog in the cage, and the cat was sitting there watching how he operated the little lever on the cage door. And I guess it was her friend, the dog in the cage. And she went over and she actually squeezed that lever together and pushed it, and click, it opened. And she opened it, and it was quite complicated. The levers on dog cages, they make them a little bit complicated, so that the dog can't open it up from inside. Okay, moving on. Iran is going to offer free scholarships to U.S. students at the Shiraz University in the city of Fars. And so they can go there and they can get an education in Iran, evidently. Free scholarships to U.S. students. I wonder if anybody will take them up on that and head to Iran to have a free scholarship. I wonder. I have to wait and see. Maybe some people will. Silver price today. We're seeing silver drop 41 cents at $26.24. Something's going on with the bonds right now, guys. We got some buyer in there that's lowering the bond yields on the long end of the yield curve. And I'm very suspicious that it's not something to do with the Fed somehow, I mean, what would stop the Fed from having a third party out there that would buy for them? I mean, I'm just saying, what would stop them from doing that? Is there any laws against that or anything? I'm just wondering. I just don't know. 26.17 for silver today, but we're going to take a look at the bond market in a minute. We got to check the gold price first. It's down $17.90 at $22.85. So we're in correction a little bit. The gold and silver now are correcting. They're having a little correction, price correction. Now Bitcoin's been through its price correction, which is quite a steep little price correction. It came down from 72,000 all the way down to 57. Now it's back up to 61,683, so it's starting to climb back up again, starting to warm back up again. Ethereum's at 30.50, and XRP's at 52.3 cents. Now the Dow Jones Industrial Average today is up 307 points at 38,533. Crude oil today is at 78.55. It's down 40 cents. Well, it's gonna have to start translating at the pump pretty soon. Oh my gosh, the pump prices are high here in Canada right now. Wow. Okay, U.S. Treasuries today. Now look at this. This is what I was telling you guys about. Look, the yields have been dropping, and now we're down to 4.53 on the 10-year. So we're getting down to 4.5, getting down close to 4.5 again. So that's taking some of the air out of the 10-year and the 30-year. 4.69. It's down 2 basis points. I just can't help it. I think my opinion only, I think they're behind the scenes, the Fed, and they're somehow they are becoming the buyer of last resort. Bond buyers, to keep this market stable. Because everything hinges on this market right here. And the whole financial system could get out of control really quickly if they don't control this yield curve. So just saying that's just my opinion. I don't know if it's true or not. Dollar index today, 105.13. is down 17 basis points. What would be the ramifications if, just to say, what if the Fed was controlling the long end of the yield curve? What would be the ramifications if everybody knew that was for sure really happening? Just wondering. I just don't know. 105.13 on the US dollar index. Thank you guys for listening to my show. You guys have a great afternoon. And thank you very much for all of my subscribers out there. Really, really nice people. And you're smart. And you know something. I'm just going to add one more thing to say, What's happening right now is not the end of the world. What's happening right now is a change of a system. We're going from a civilization all through history, and all the way back to the Stone Age, right, even through the Industrial Revolution. Of course, the Industrial Revolution was a predecessor to what's happening right now. We're going through that quantum leap humanity is from the old system, what I'll call the old system, to a new system. The new system being a technologically advanced civilization. We're going through a leap of technological advancement. That's what we're going through right now. Combined with a collapse of the old system and a rebirth of the new system. And it is just like was on the magazine that was produced with the Phoenix, that was produced. The Phoenix rises from the ashes, and the new system will rise from the ashes of this old system. But it's not going to be the same. It's going to be totally different. Your lives are going to be totally different. Everything's going to be totally different. And we're in that transition period right now, and it's going to be terrible when the old system collapses, because we are all reliant upon it for all of our daily bread and everything else. We're reliant upon this old system, and the old system's going to let us down because it's dying. It's going to die, and it's going to be replaced with a new system. And the people on Earth are going to construct this new system. They're going to build it from the ground up, because it's all that's going to be left is just ashes of this old system. And everything that goes with it, the monetary system that goes with it, the structure of everything. But when this new system comes in, expect to see things like a lot of robots and drones and people with implants in their brain and people walking down the street with a bionic arm and stuff like that will become commonplace. A guy that might not have had any legs, and now he's got legs and he can run 50 miles an hour on them because they're robotic. Stuff like that. And it'll be commonplace in a highly technologically advanced world where there are probably flying cars and things like that in the sky. And just a totally different world, a world where you're watched everywhere you go all the time by cameras everywhere, that's connected to a central computer hub that's probably artificial general intelligence, and it monitors everything, and crime will be a thing of the past at that point, because nobody will ever be able to get away with anything. They'll just switch your wallet off. They'll turn off your money, and you'll have to come into them to be fed. And then they got you. They don't even have to go on a manhunt to find you. They just turn your wallet off. That kind of a world. That's where we're headed. And in some ways, now, we are very adaptable as a species, and in some ways, a lot of people out there might enjoy what this new technological advanced world, they might think it's much, much, much better than this old system is. Some people might hate it. But make no mistake about it, now that artificial intelligence is coming along, and soon it'll be artificial general intelligence, and also the way it'll be structured and everything, you're not going to be able to stop it. We're too deep into this. This is going to happen. And war could speed it up an awful lot. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.